Sweet. Well, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday evening. So excited to have everybody here with us tonight. And if you're just tuning in live or if you're tuning in for the replay, super action-packed call for you tonight. I'm really excited to go over these topics. You know, over the last 30 weeks, we've expanded and developed so much on so many different things: a winning philosophy, a winning mindset, understanding, you know, what really the vehicle of the home-based business is and what the point of that is, and how to, of course, arm yourself and to develop yourself into somebody who can go out and create the result that you're looking for in your business. And so tonight we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of the product itself. The Active Greens product, which is a world-class product, over 70 different minerals and vitamins that are within it in one single product. And on top of that, we're going to talk a little bit about how to kind of take some personal responsibility and how to make the difference in your own personal health. Because what's going to happen is that two things are going to happen as you start to, you know, take your own personal health to another level. The first thing that's going to happen is that you're going to start to feel fantastic. And I wish that for everybody, right? It's an absolutely fantastic thing to be able to, you know, live in a physical body that makes you feel able to do the things that you might want to do. And that could be anything from, of course, going outside and adventuring, walking, you know, up mountains, exploring nature. It could be as simple as just wanting to be able to garden, you know, and not be sore at the end of the day. It might be the ability to play with your grandkids, right? And it might be the ability to pursue sports that you're passionate about. You know, unfortunately, in our modern culture, we are kind of taught that as we age, that life has to change for us. And although there are certainly precautions that we have to take as we age for obvious reasons, the truth is that our physical bodies are absolutely capable of so much more. And when you have some consideration to the nutrition that you're putting into your body, and to really controlling the output of the system that is your body, then, you know, the reality is that you can participate and pursue things that are adventurous and exciting for many decades, well into your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. In fact, one of my favorite people on the planet is a guy named Klaus Obermeyer. He's an absolute legend in the industry of skiing, and he still skis over 100 days per year on his 101st birthday. He lives in Aspen, at the bottom of Aspen Mountain, and has been skiing over 100 days a year for the last 70 years. And you know what he always talks about is that a body in motion will continue in motion. And so what better thing to do than to make the decision, knowing that we're coming into summer, knowing that we're coming into a season of the year where the days are longer, so there's daylight before and after working hours, and the weather will really support us, you know, getting outside and getting that vitamin D and feeling better in our bodies. So we're going to get to that at the end of the call. But before we get into that, what we're going to do is we're going to hear from Kevin tonight. And Kevin, although you know him mostly as somebody who is really fantastic with the interpersonal skills, and somebody who is really driven and motivated to grow and really drive the business, the whole reason that we're here really is because he has an incredible passion for chlorophyll and for greens, and the nutritional aspect of what Active delivers on. And so he's going to take about 10-15 minutes and really cover, you know, why not only should each and every one of us be drinking this product, but we should absolutely be evangelical about making sure that those that we care about are also drinking this product at a minimum. So without further ado, Kevin, let's hear about Active.
Oh, man, thank you, Peyton. And thank you guys all for being on tonight. Whether you're watching the replay, you're catching this live, just wanted to say thanks for taking time out of your day and watching this. And I hope that it's short, and I hope it provides value. So I'll just jump right in. So I thought, why not talk just so slightly how the body works? I have a 19-year-old daughter, and she asked me how a car worked yesterday. And I was explaining that a car basically it uses fuel and air to create electricity. And the faster you go, the more air is coming in. And as more air is coming in, it's powering the car, creating this cyclical effect. And I thought, It kind of works like that, except for we are a self-regenerating, soul-powered bone mech with meat armor. And we're making choices using our central nervous system, and we're basically these electric beings. We are so electric. You touch a blanket and it makes sparks. You walk and you can make sparks. So movement, as Peyton said, is so important. You think about the process of movement, and I brought this car as an analogy. The more you move the car, the more it goes, and it just keeps going as you spin it once. To create inertia is then going to create more energy. I get into arguments with people that don't want to work out, and they say, I'm already tired from work. Why do I want to get more tired by working out? It seems like a pyramid scheme. But if you move your body, it generates electricity just like this, and it falls off the thing. You generate electricity. Back in the day, they used to measure food with a couple different units of measurement for electricity. I always look at it in my mind as I want to eat things that are crunchy and alive. Well, I got sick like 15 years ago, and the doctor said I had something seriously wrong with me. I realized I knew nothing about my body, and I started doing some research and reading, and I got down to 3 concepts. Homeostasis, which is basic biology that says if your body's in the right pH, no illness can exist in it. Nothing. So that was the first one. I thought, okay, I got to figure out how to do that. The second one had to do with digestion, saying that most of our bodies spent digesting stuff we're not meant to consume. So instead of our body having the ability to heal itself, think about every time you've ever broken anything or been hurt or been sick, all the antibiotics, all the medications, all the pharmaceuticals, all the surgery, all that stuff, that doesn't get you better. You get you better. And it happens when you're sleeping, and it happens based on your nutrition and how you recover. And so there's this concept. It's like you need 15 basic minerals to run your body. People all the time say, oh, you got to get your minerals in the water. Well, basic chemistry says no minerals get absorbed unless they are bonded to a carbon atom. You know what's carbon? Plants are carbon. So when you buy a vitamin for like $30 or $40 at the store, you're really most of the time just buying synthetic vitamins that your body just uses its biological energy to process through you, and it comes out in your urine. You're buying expensive urine because it's not absorbing into the body. So when we created this product, the formula was designed to be, number one, the most mineral-rich soil in the planet. Number 2, so much grass that grows per capita in terms of like density within the square foot. And then they juice it, which then of course is going to condense it even more. And then they powder it, which condenses it even more. So sometimes people see a stick of the active and they think this isn't that great. It can't do that much. It's potentially supplement that is just a synthetic thing, because that's what everyone else on the market has available to them. Whereas ours is biologically alive. It's incredibly dense in nutrients and minerals. I always talk about the picture that has like an apple. And it shows you, it says one apple from 1954, and then it's got like 3 bushels of apples over here. And it says the same apples from 2019 you'd have to eat to equal the nutrients of an apple in 1954. Because the soil is not being regenerated. As a result, most of what's in our food is hydroponics. So it's just growing in water. There's no minerals in it. And so even if you live a plant-based lifestyle and eat a bunch of vegetables and you're taking vitamins and you're taking minerals and things, unless it's bonded to carbon, it's just expensive pee. So that has to be through plants. So that's a huge one. If you're doing that already, awesome. Carbon bonding is the same. You won't absorb minerals in your water. And so the idea that your gut is the brain of the body and the brain is the electromagnetic translator of the gut. When you take a round of antibiotics, it kills your gut bacteria. It takes 2 years to replenish your gut bacteria. That's why the probiotic and prebiotic market is such a big market. There's all those nasty drinks that taste like rotten apple juice that people spend $4 or $5 for, kombucha, hard, whatever you call it. It just tastes like apple cider vinegar. There's the basic pH in homeostasis that talks about on one side you have acid, on the other side you have alkalinity. And so I go into this, And I will preface with like an asterisk right now that says Tony Robbins did a talk on alkalinity that I put in the YouTube channel in the playlist that's resources. If you listen to that, you would understand on the deepest level of the most cutting edge science in a dark field microscope, which can go 1,000 times more than a normal microscope. The research they have on candida, the research they have on sugar, on yeast, on the way the body operates, and some of the findings at Johns Hopkins are in that audio. That audio is so phenomenal, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'll tell you about the weight loss concept that's in there, and then I would urge you to go listen to that right now, after, of course, you finish this. But the alkalinity concept goes like this. You have alkalinity reserves. The greener it is, the dark green, the more alkaline. Acid is acid. Our bodies create more acid from stress than our diet. So if you go start working out, you're building up lactic what? Lactic acid. If you live an acidic lifestyle because you worry, you stress, you watch TV that creates fear, stress, and panic, you're in a state that's dumping acid in your system. So unless you have a massive amount of alkalinity reserves and you're constantly flooding chlorophyll, oxygen, alkalinity, vitamins, minerals into your system to build up a reserve, your body's then depleted. And so this crazy thing happens. You get all this acid in the system that will corrode your arterial walls and your cells. It will literally cause you to die from the inside out. So the body has this fantastic mechanism. It takes that acid and it surrounds it with a binder, and it uses cholesterol and fat, and it envelops the acid and sticks it to your arterial walls. And everybody always talks about cholesterol buildup. It's like your body's taking in too much acid. Do you want to neutralize that? Take alkalinity. And so the idea is like something efficient and swift that's really easy to get your hands on, that you could flood your cells with oxygen, chlorophyll, minerals, vitamins, and give your body the proper alkaline state and build up your reserves. And this crazy thing happens when you do it. As you build up your reserves and you have alkaline, the acid will let itself go at a 1-to-1 ratio. So your body needs so much alkalinity, so many things that are alive, crisp, crunchy, and green. So to the fact that you can juice 4 grasses, and one of those grasses is alfalfa. Its roots go 15 to 20 feet down in the most mineral-rich soil on the planet, sucking Mother Nature's Gatorade up into these straws that are later juiced. So you get to share that with people that you care about. And it's like, okay, I have tried our competition for years. I have bought from our competition for years. And I will say this, ours tastes better than everyone's. We have a better price point because we can buy in bulk and we've cut out all the middlemen. It is so profoundly better in every category. All we have to do is share it. And I'm not trying to guilt trip you with what comes next before I pass to Peyton, but I'll tell you this. I, as a soul on this planet right now, am on a mission, because so many people that I care about have passed away from something heart related. So many people have passed away because they don't understand how their body works and what their body needs. And what's so powerful about this is the people that put the care into this were trying to accomplish one goal. They wanted to simplify nutrition so almost everything you would need in one day is in one little stick that you could just take. My mission is test, not guess. Do you know how you know you have heart problems? You get a heart attack. Do you know the statistics on the people that make it from heart attacks? It's not good. I'm just not even going to bring it up. Testing, not guessing, should be your first priority. Whether you want to make money in this, whether you want to just drink this and be healthier, whether you're just looking at it because a friend wanted you to look at it, I will tell you this. If you have not tested your nitric oxide levels, you should. You need to. If you care about someone that you'd like to see their life prolonged or the quality of their life prolonged, text them right now and ask for their mailing address. Put a pack of test strips, 2 or 3 sticks in there, write them a little letter, tell them, send me a picture of your test results. I'd love to see where you're at. And educate them by sending them a video, because this is so much more than like, hey, take a look at this, buy some greens from me. That's not what we're doing here. This is about testing, not guessing. This is about potentially saving a life. This is about simplifying our already busy lives that have so many pulls on it that we don't have the time to juice a bunch of juice 5 times a day and take a handful of supplements. We can save money by getting it all in one thing. And so I urge you to test, not guess. And I challenge you, if you've seen this video and you're watching me in this moment right now, I challenge you to educate yourself and watch that YouTube audio that I put in there with Tony Robbins on alkalinity, because if you listen to that, you will take our product every day until you die. You will understand your body in such a better way. And so I hope that some of this helped, and I'm going to pass it back to Peyton, because when it comes to fitness and it comes to movement, Peyton is one of those men that has such explosive strength and crazy training habits and such a profound wealth of the movement of the body, the minerals, the nutrition, and the daily things. And something magic about Peyton that I love is how he can take something so complicated and distill it down into a couple little things that you could do every day in a non-negotiable way that's just a little bit more, and it adds value to your life and makes major changes. So I'll pass it to him.
Yeah, awesome, Kevin. Well, thank you so much for that information. It's exciting to hear it, because it's like we've been to the farm, right? And so we've seen that entire process of the actual fields, the soil that it's grown in, the actual cultures of that soil and how rich it is in that mineral content, and then even the juicing machine. And so you really just nailed it on all of that. And so to piggyback on that, let's start with the end in mind, and let's go backwards from there. So the end in mind ultimately is to help people live a better quality of life. And in our personal perspective, there's 2 ways to do that. One is, of course, through alkalinity and through good nutrition, like Kevin was just talking about. And the other way is through active. It's quite literally living an active life. And so I know that, many people, especially present day, post-pandemic, whatever, in the United States, there's a lot of maybe guilt or shame around, I should work out, I should get busy with it. And, we're actually right at about the point I just read where there's 225 days left in the year, and approximately 90% of people have now given up on their New Year's resolutions. So that's a pretty interesting thing. And what I'm going to go into for just a moment here is basically a recipe to help each and every one of us, including myself, set ourselves up for success. Because the reason that people, in my opinion, having been through, the world of fitness and training so many times, nutrition on the roller coaster, off the roller coaster, yo-yo up, yo-yo down, is that we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and we expect ourselves to go from 0 to hero. And unfortunately, that does nothing but basically just set us up to lose. So the idea that we're going to start with first and foremost is that, what if, in an effort to live a better, more meaningful life, to become more active, to be more healthy, and to help those people around us do that, what if the first agreement that we made is that if you can't do it every single day, don't even do it at all. If you can't see yourself doing it every single day, just don't even do it at all. So then you start thinking to yourself, like, how many people do you know that get started on some outrageous diet, something called like Whole30, or the keto diet, or the paleo diet, or, the carnivore diet, or the South Beach diet, or, any number of different diets that exist out there. And oftentimes, if this is you, say I, but, oftentimes you have a great result, only to then revert to old habits later, and to not only put on, weight again, or to fall off the program, but to wind up worse almost than you started with the first time. And that's a universal thing that happens to everybody. And the reason with it is that it's more effective for us to add good things than it is to take away bad things. If you fill everything up with good, eventually there's no more room for bad. It's almost like if you're going to make a smoothie, and then you're going to put the blender in the sink with all the stuff, the smoothie remains, and you turn the clean water on and you let it run. Eventually, if as long as you don't put it in there dry, but eventually it's all going to clean out and it's all going to spill over the top. So what we're talking about tonight are what are some effective and simple habits that we can start to add into our repertoire, into our behavior, that can be that clean water, that can be adding something good in. Because if you start to add those types of things in today and it becomes something that you can do every single day, it, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, the way that you're choosing to live on a daily and weekly basis will fundamentally be different. Okay, so the first thing, like Kevin went into, is drinking the greens. And that's just such a fundamental pillar of nutrition, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you are, at the 90 percentile of eating really, really good food, you're eliminating glyphosate, you're eliminating seed oils, you're not eating saturated fats, you're eating mostly farm to table type of situation. Or if you're somebody who has been off the deep end at McDonald's, in the drive-through, hitting the McFlurry, it doesn't matter. The first thing you can do is you can start drinking your greens each and every day. Literally 8 to 12 ounces of water, one mix. It even tastes good, right? So that's easy. The second thing that you can start to do is you can start to increase your water intake, okay? Increase your water intake. So there's different metrics around it. Some people say, don't drink too much water, but what if you drink, like 0.8 or 0.6 ounces of water for every pound of body weight that you are, right? So if you're an adult male, maybe you're drinking like 110, 120 ounces of water, a little bit less than a gallon of water per day. Most people in this country massively are overestimating hunger for dehydration. So if you're always thinking that you're hungry when you're actually dehydrated, and you're always eating food to satisfy your hunger, when really what your body is craving is water, then of course it's no mystery why we have obesity epidemic. Okay, so now you're drinking your greens, you're adding some water. The third thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some movement in. Now, how many people do you know say, if this is you, but you start out on a ridiculous workout regimen? You go and you start doing CrossFit 6 times a week. Sometimes you're going to start doing 2 a days, right? Or somebody says, I'm going to do zone 45 in the morning. Then I'm going to go to yoga, and then I'm going to do Pilates, and then I'm going to do all this. That is a recipe for burnout. What if you start to build a simple daily action of movement into the equation? Some people say 10,000 steps. If you don't get out walking a lot, 10,000 steps is actually a lot of steps. Your phone has a step tracker in it. That's a good way to start. But here's something that you can do tomorrow if you prefer the treadmill. It's called 12-3-30. 12-3-30. So 12 incline, 3 speed, 30 minutes. 12-3-30. That's a phenomenal way to start getting. You'll be in what's called zone 2 cardio, and you'll work up a nice little sweat. Anybody can do it. Anybody can finish it. That's a great way to get started. If you don't want to go and walk on a treadmill, just walk around the neighborhood, set a timer for 30 minutes, start out on a brisk walk and get moving. On top of that, you can listen to some personal development when you do that. So those are 3 things that anybody can get started. And the last piece of the puzzle, of course, to feel great long-term, is to avoid what's called sarcopenia. So in your 30s, once you get into your mid 30s, you start to lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass per year for the rest of your life. And that is something that happens to all of us. The way to mitigate and prevent this is through strength training. Now, lots of people hear strength training and they think that they have to go and pump iron at the gym. But the truth is that all you need to do is you need to create some resistance somehow. So resistance can come in the form of lunges, in air squats, in pull-ups, in hanging, in monkey bars, in playing at the thing. It can be push-ups, right? It doesn't have to be anything too serious, but the more that we can start to engage the different muscular systems in the body to experience fatigue under tension, the more that we can increase our metabolism no matter what age we are, and mitigate sarcopenia, which is a real problem. And you don't want to deal with that. But let's keep it super simple tonight. So if you are an expert in the realm of fitness, then you need no counsel. If you have fallen off, but you have experience in the past, one of the reasons that we tend to fall off is because we set the expectation too high for ourselves. So again, get the active greens in your body, make sure that you get your water, make sure that you get your steps in. That's a great starting point. And then we will elaborate on that from there forward. But I will tell you this, if more people would simply do those 3 things on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis, our quality of life would go up. Our mental faculties would go up. Our ability to be creative would go up. Our ability to attract more people would go up. And as we start to live a brighter, shining beacon of life, then that is the fastest and most profound way to create influence, which again, if you are now looking at this as an enterprise to go out and to create financial results, creating influence is the number one way that you're going to be able to have people look to what you're doing, grow with you, and of course, turn this into something that can be a fantastic enterprise. So without further ado, let's wrap it up for the night. And I appreciate everybody that's been with us. Kev,